Nothing here asked to be seen. No moment waited for approval. The work began when the room emptied and the silence became usable. No markers of progress on the wall. No voice counting time. Just repetition shaping something solid out of intention and grind. I didn't announce direction. I didn't signal intent. I let the days stack quietly and the effort accumulate. There were no witnesses to the struggle, no eyes to confirm it was real. But absence doesn't erase labor, and silence doesn't steal. Filled without witnesses, without applause or proof. No borrowed momentum, no need for truth to move. What forms away from attention holds weight when pressure arrives. Because nothing here was rushed, and nothing needed to survive. The unseen hours demanded honesty. They didn't tolerate disguise. Every weakness showed itself with nowhere left to hide. I learned to correct in private, to refine without display, to build systems that function whether anyone stays. The world rewards presentation, but structure doesn't depend on how convincing the surface looks or how often you defend. I focused on foundations, on what wouldn't collapse when conditions turn hostile and patience was taxed. Filled without witnesses means progress wasn't loud. It means discipline stayed consistent when excitement bowed. It means returning every day without being reminded that effort compounds fastest when ego is absent. I worked through quiet doubt and fatigue that went unnamed. I've carried standards alone without praise or blame. There was no moment of certainty, no clear sign to proceed, only the decision to continue and the restraint to repeat. The structure grew slowly, not impressive but exact. Each adjustment reinforced alignment, each correction tightened the track. Nothing decorative survived here, only what proved it could hold under isolation and time and pressure cold. Now when yeah. Nothing about this looked impressive, From the outside it stayed plain. No visible milestones, no clear sign of gain. The work stayed beneath the surface, where attention doesn't reach, where effort isn't praised and progress doesn't speak. I move without urgency, without the need to explain. Each action placed deliberately, each repetition the same. No shortcuts disguised as wisdom, no rush to be known. I trusted what accumulates when discipline works alone. Hidden effort, lasting form, that's how structure survives. Not built for the moment, but for pressure and time. What's done without an audience holds shape when things deform, because effort that stays hidden creates a form that performs. There were days that felt identical, nights without distinction, but consistency doesn't need variety, it needs conviction. I learned to respect small adjustments, the quiet corrections made, because alignment isn't dramatic, it's stable and precise. I stripped away what wasn't necessary, what looked good but couldn't hold. Only kept what functioned when conditions turned cold. Nothing ornamental remained, nothing fragile stayed. Everything had to justify its place through use, not displayed. In effort doesn't rush results, it allows them to mature. It accepts delayed feedback and stays patient, secure. There's no emotional payoff, no sudden reward, just a calm understanding that the structure is being restored. Hidden effort doesn't rush results, it allows them to mature. It accepts delayed feedback and stays patient, secure. There's no emotional payoff, no sudden reward, just a calm understanding that the structure is being restored. Hidden effort, lasting form, means progress isn't loud. It doesn't depend on recognition or the presence of a crowd. It trusts the compound effect of returning each day. Even when motivation disappears and certainty stays away, I didn't measure success by feeling or by what others could see. I measured it by stability and internal consistency, by how well the system held under stress and demand, by how reliably it functioned when it's planned. Over time, weight settled evenly, what was weak was reinforced. What survived the repetition earned its place by force. Not force of intensity, but force of return, of showing up unchanged while lessons burn. Now when results appear, solid and form begins to show. They won't reflect the quiet hours that carried the load, but I'll know where the strength came from, why it doesn't collapse or bend. Hidden effort shaped it carefully, and lasting form is the end. Because what's built for endurance is never rushed or loud. It's formed where no one's watching, and it stays when others fall out. Oh, I ask the silence what remains when excuses lose their voice, when every option feels exhausted and comfort isn't a choice. I waited for a feeling, for clarity to appear, but nothing moved forward until discipline stood here. There was no revelation, no moment dressed in light, just a quiet realization that action come before insight. The mind kept asking questions, The body wanted relief, but discipline didn't argue, it simply took the lead. Discipline is the answer when motivation breaks, when emotion clouds direction and progress starts to shake. It doesn't promise comfort or explain the pain. It replaces hesitation with a system that remains. I learned that chaos feeds on freedom without structure to contain. That potential means nothing if effort isn't trained. You don't rise by wanting, you don't move by belief. You rise by what you repeat when belief feels weak. Discipline doesn't inspire, it stabilizes ground. It narrows scattered energy until movement is sound. It turns intention into habit, habit into form, and carries you forward through every storm. When I stopped negotiating with how the day felt, when I stopped waiting for readiness and relied on what I built, momentum we turn quietly, not fast but exact. Because discipline doesn't rush, it stays intact. Discipline is the answer, not because it's easy, but because it endures when everything feels heavy. It holds shape under pressure, it functions without praise. It works in silence day after day. I've seen talent dissolve when structure was thin. I've seen confidence collapse when discipline didn't begin. I've seen emotion misled, intensity burned, but discipline compounds every return. It taught me to act cleanly without drama or delay, to do what's required even when nothing feels okay. It removed the need for hope and replaced it with design, 'cause systems outperform wishes every time. Now when doubt asks questions and fatigue tries to decide, I don't search for an answer, I apply one I trust inside. 'Cause discipline doesn't fluctuate, it doesn't argue or bend when everything else falls apart. Discipline is the answer. I stopped asking how it feels and started asking what holds. Comfort changes with the weather, standards don't bend or fold. There's no softness in the process, no cushion for the strain. Just a line I chose to honor again and again. I learned that comfort whispers, it tells you to delay. It dresses hesitation as something you deserve today. But standards don't negotiate, they don't care how I slept. They ask one thing consistently, was the promise kept? No comfort, only standards, that's the ground I stand upon. Not motivation, not emotion, but the rule I move beyond. When the mind looks for relief and the body asks to stop, standards stay in position, they don't rise or drop. There were nights I wanted silence that felt softer than resolve, moments where distraction seemed easier than evolve. But I saw how comfort weakens when it's chosen as a guide. It trades long-term direction for short-term ease inside. Standards don't shout or threaten, they wait without demand. They're present in the smallest acts and how I move my hand. They shape the way I speak, the pace I choose to keep. They remain when excitement fades and discipline runs deep. I don't rise when it feels right, I rise cause it's time. I don't act on passing moods, I act on a design. There's freedom in precision, in knowing where I stand. When comfort loses relevance and standards take command. No comfort, only standards means I don't ask for praise. I don't need the moment to feel good to justify my days. I accept the weight of effort without expecting relief, because strength respects consistency more than belief. The world sells comfort daily, calls it balance, calls it care, but structure is what carries me when pressure fills the air. Standards protect my focus when desire pulls apart. They keep the system working even when the heart is tired. And when results finally surface and others ask how I endure, I won't say I stayed inspired or waited to feel secure. I'll say I built my life on something stable and exact. No comfort, only standards and the discipline to act. And the discipline to act. And pray beneath the surface. Nothing here announces itself, no banners in the sky. What's growing underneath my feet was never meant to rise. I don't measure power by attention, the size by what is shown. The strongest structures in existence are the ones that grow alone. Beneath the surface, pressure works, layer after layer slow. No sudden movements, no display, just forces learning where to go. Every unseen correction matters, every quiet choice compounds. What looks calm from the outside is dense beneath the ground. Empire beneath the surface, built without a sound. No celebration at the start, no crowd around, while others chase appearance and race toward the light. I reinforce foundations out of sight. I've learned that depth doesn't rush, it requires patience and strain. The weight of consistency over novelty and gain. There were seasons of invisibility where progress felt unsure, but what survived the silence became stable and secure. I stripped away the decorative, what couldn't hold its role, only kept what functioned under pressure and control. Every layer earned its place, every system tested clean. Nothing fragile remains here, nothing unexamined. The empire beneath the surface is not about command, it's about preparation before the weight demands. It's choosing structure over noise and durability over speed. Knowing what holds unseen is what the world will need. I didn't build to impress, I built to remain. I plan for stress and resistance, for uncertainty and strain. The surface can't crack under demand if what's below is thin. So I reinforce the unseen parts before letting anything begin. There were moments of doubt, when silence felt like delay, when effort questioned its value with no proof on display. But systems don't need validation, they need time and use. And every quiet adjustment reduced what I could lose. Now an impact finally shows, and weight begins to land. The structure doesn't shift or bend, it understands the demand. They'll see the reach, the scale, the form, and think it rose overnight. But empires don't appear suddenly, they're built beneath the surface, out of sight. What stands when pressure arrives is never what was loud, it's what was reinforced patiently when no one looked around. And if the surface draws attention, that was never the aim. The empire beneath it matters more, because it will remain. Because it will remain. I don't follow every signal that rises from the nerve. Not every feeling deserves control or gets what it deserves. Sensation comes and goes, it spikes then fades away, still stays when impulse leaves and holds the shape. The body reacts instantly, the mind wants release, but reaction clouds direction and weakens what should be precise. I've learned to pause the reflex before it sets the pace, to let structure take command and put feeling in its place. Steal over sensation, that's the line I draw. I don't confuse intensity with something that should lead it all. Feeling is information, not authority. Still decides what moves forward with clarity. Sensation wants immediacy, it demands response and sound. It hates delay and silence, it pulls attention down. But still is patient pressure, compressed and calm. It doesn't spike or scatter, it holds its form. I don't deny the signal, I just don't obey. I let it pass through awareness without letting it stay. Pain, pleasure, fatigue, desire, they all speak in turn, but still listens carefully, then decides what's earned. Sensation means consistency survives. When the body argues and the mind dramatizes, it means action stays aligned even when comfort pulls. It means I don't surrender form to temporary rules. I've watched sensation misled, turn impulse into regret. I've watched discipline stabilize what emotion couldn't protect. Steel doesn't rush outcomes or chase relief. It commits to structure and trust belief. The strength I carry isn't loud, it doesn't seek release. It's forged in delayed reaction and practice restraint beneath. Every time sensation peaks and I choose not to bend, still thicken slightly again and again. Now when intensity arrives with urgency and heat, I don't mistake sensation for something I must meet. I ground myself in precision in what I've trained to be, because sensation fades quickly, but still remembers me. Sensations do, what remains is control. And the steel I built through it all. The air tightens without warning. The ground shifts under strain. Everything accelerates, looking for something to blame. Voices rise, systems shake. Direction starts to blur. But I don't move with the panic, I let the moment occur. I've learned storms don't ask permission, they arrive when they arrive. They test what's decorative and what actually survives. Reaction wastes energy, chaos feeds the flame. So I narrow my attention and hold the frame. Controlled in the storm, while everything pulls apart. I don't match the speed of fear, I protect the core and heart. Not frozen, not withdrawn, just steady at the center, letting pressure pass through me without becoming the pressure. I slow the breath deliberately, even when urgency screams. I trust the systems I've built more than temporary extremes. Emotion wants release, but structure wants command. I don't fight the conditions, I operate within them. The storm exposes habits you didn't know were weak. It highlights every shortcut, every place you tried to cheat. So I reduce unnecessary motion, cut noise from the task. Precision becomes survival. focus becomes the mass. Control in the storm is not confidence on display. It's execution without hesitation, even when clarity delays. It's choosing correct action over dramatic response, letting discipline decide when instinct wants to lawn. I've seen people burn themselves out, trying to overpower the rain. I've seen panic multiply damage and confusion chain to chain. The storm doesn't need dominance, it needs containment and form. So I stay exact in movement while the outside deform. Pressure tests alignment, not motivation or talk. It doesn't care what you intended, only how you walk. So I move step by step, not fast, not slow, just accurate enough to keep control. When the storm finally passes and the noise begins to clear, they'll ask how I stay functional when everything disappeared. I won't say I was fearless or stronger than the rest. I stayed controlled in the storm because discipline stayed present. And when the next one arrives, as it always will, I won't. There was no moment when it eased, no signal saying now it's safe. The pressure stayed consistent and the effort had no shape. I didn't wait for comfort, I didn't wait for calm. I moved forward through resistance with unsteady palms. It hurt before it worked, it strained before it held. Every action felt heavier than anything I'd felt. But I didn't stop to question what the cost might be. I understood that growth rarely asked politely, no. Built while it hurt, not after the pain passed. Now when strength felt natural or progress came fast, it was built in the middle of tension and doubt. When quitting felt reasonable and relief called out, I learned that pain isn't guidance, but it is information. It shows where systems fail and where to place foundation. I adjusted instead of retreating, I corrected instead of complaining. I stayed long enough for the process to start changing. Some days felt unproductive, some nights felt unfinished, but repetition continued even when hope diminished. I didn't need encouragement, I needed alignment to do the next required action with controlled intent. Oh. I didn't wait to heal, I stabilized function first before worrying how I feel. I separated discomfort from actual harm and learned how to operate without alarm. The body adapted quietly. The mind learned to stay. What once felt unbearable became part of the day. Pain stopped being an obstacle and became a signal not to stop but to refine and stay intentional. I didn't become hard, I became exact. I learned where to apply pressure and where to pull back. Endurance wasn't stubbornness, it was intelligent pace built through consistency, not intensity or haste. Now when effort feels heavy, I don't interpret it as wrong. I recognize the pattern and continue moving on, because what supports me now wasn't built in relief. It was constructed carefully while it hurt, and I stayed on my feet. The man who refused to break. The expected collapse at some point, a moment where the weight would win, where fatigue would turn into surrender, and the cracks would finally give in. Pressure stacked without apology, days blurred into strain, but I didn't disappear into it. I learned how to remain. There was nothing heroic in the moment, no surge of strength or flame, just a quiet refusal to let damage decide my name. I didn't need to feel powerful, I needed to stay exact, to hold form when everything shook and not step back. Oh, the man who refused to break wasn't fearless or loud. He didn't challenge the pressure or rise above the crowd. He stayed where he was planted, adjusted, reinforced and stayed. While others searched for escape, he quietly obeyed. I learned that breaking is often permission, giving once then again. It starts when standards loosen and structure starts to bend. So I tightened what mattered, removed what pulled me apart, and focused on what functioned instead of how hard it felt. There were days when the system faltered, moments when clarity thinned, but I reduced the field of action until control returned within. One task, one breath, one movement, executed without sound. Progress wasn't impressive, but it stayed around. The man who refused to break didn't demand relief. He accepted the conditions and refined his belief. Not belief in outcomes or hope dressed as faith, but belief in repetition and control pays. Pain didn't stop visiting, it simply changed its role. It stopped being an enemy and started testing control. Each wave asked the same question, not loudly but exact. Will you abandon structure or return to the act? I didn't harden into bitterness, I didn't go numb or cold. I stayed responsive and alert without letting chaos hold. Strength wasn't resistance, it was intelligent form, built to stay operational through every storm. Now when pressure circles back, as it always return to what carried me through silence and strain. Because I was not saved by relief, I was shaped by refusing to break. The man who refused to break didn't conquer the fight. He stayed functional inside it until structure outweighed the night. And that refusal still stands quiet, controlled and exact. Not dramatic, not visible, just intact. Pain arrived without asking, but it didn't come empty. It carried weight, direction, and something meant for me. Not every struggle is random, not every strain is waste. Some pressure enters your life to put things in place. At first I resisted the feeling, tried to outrun the cause. I thought pain was a signal that something had been lost. But avoidance blurred the lesson, and comfort stalled my sight. So I stayed long enough for pain to clarify. Pain with purpose is not chaos or despair. It's resistance with intention, pressure shaping care. It doesn't come to break you or leave you incomplete. It comes to focus effort and align your feet. I stopped asking when it would end and started asking what it taught, what habits needed removing, what standards should be enforced. Pain highlighted weak structure where comfort used to sit. It showed me where attention had quietly slipped. Purpose gave pain direction without turning it kind. It didn't soften the process, it sharpened the mind. Every setback carried information, every strain revealed form. I learned where to reinforce instead of wishing for calm. Pain with purpose doesn't rush resolution. It builds tolerance for effort and respect for execution. It teaches patience under load and clarity under strain. So discomfort stops feeling pointless and starts feeling contained. I didn't glorify suffering, I didn't chase the ache. I learned to listen carefully to what pain would indicate. Some signals meant adjust the pace, some meant strengthen the frame, but none meant stop entirely or abandon the aim. The body adapted gradually, the mind stopped resisting. Pain became a reference point, not an opposing force. It marked the boundary between excess and what was actually required, between reaction and intention, between tired and retired. Pain with purpose is not something you escape, it's something you translate into structure and shape. And when pain no longer controls me, but informs what I refine, I don't ask why it's here, I ask how to apply it with discipline and time. Now when discomfort returns, as it always will do, I don't treat it as a failure or something to undo. I ready to move with intent, because pain without purpose weakens, but pain with purpose builds men. I don't wait for the feeling anymore. I've seen how fast it fades. Emotion rises without warning, then quietly decays. It promises momentum, but leaves no structure behind. So I stopped asking how I feel and started asking what's designed. Routine doesn't care about my mood. It doesn't flinch or pause. It stands exactly where I left it, unaffected by applause. When emotion pulls in every direction, routine keeps one line. It turns scattered intention into something defined. Routine over emotion, that's how I stay intact. Not reacting to the moment, but returning to the act. When motivation disappears, and doubt comes back in waves, routine stays in position and carries me through days. Emotion wants expression, routine wants execution. One burns fast and disappears, the other builds foundation. I've trusted feelings before and watch them change their mind. Routine doesn't reconsider, it shows up on time. There were days my mind resisted, days my body felt slow, days where stopping felt easier than continuing to go. But routine doesn't negotiate, it doesn't ask for belief, it simply asks for presence and repetition underneath. I learned that strength isn't dramatic, it's quiet and exact. It's found in small commitments, repeated back to back. Emotion makes noise when it arrives, routine works without sound. One demands attention, the other builds ground. Routine over emotion means progress isn't loud. It means I don't abandon structure just because the sky is clouded. It means discipline remains when inspiration leaves and momentum survives. What emotion can achieve, I don't suppress what I feel, I just don't let it lead. Feelings inform the moment, but structure decides the speed. Emotion passes like weather, routine stays like stone. One moves through me briefly, the other becomes bone. Now when pressure meets fatigue and the mind starts to sway, I don't look inward for permission. I return to the day, to the same controlled actions that carried me before. Because routine doesn't need emotion to open the door. Routine over emotion is how I keep my form. Nothing dramatic followed the collapse. No moment of clarity or release. Just silence settling in the space where structure used to be. The breakdown didn't shout, it emptied the room and left me standing still with nothing to assume. There was no energy left to perform, no strength to pretend, only the quiet understanding that something had to end. I didn't rebuild from inspiration or sudden belief. I rebuilt from necessity and controlled relief. Discipline after the breakdown is colder, slower, exact. It doesn't rise from emotion, it responds to the fact that chaos had its turn and comfort failed to hold. So order returned quietly, measured in cold. I started with the smallest actions, things that couldn't collapse. Time woke me up on schedule, movement returned my map. No passion, no promises, just systems in place. Because discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it asks if you'll stay. The mind was unstable at first, heavy with doubt and noise. So I reduced the field of thought and narrowed my choice. When everything felt fragile, I removed the unnecessary until what remained was simple and manageable me. Discipline doesn't rush recovery, it stabilizes ground. It replaces emotional swings with rules that don't move around. I didn't aim to feel better, I aimed to function again. Cause function precedes confidence and order precedes strength. The breakdown taught me limits, not as shame, but as frame. It showed me where structure was missing and what systems failed. I didn't blame the pressure or search for a sign. I just did the structure and returned to the line. Discipline after the breakdown doesn't celebrate survival. It secures continuity and makes progress reliable. No hero story followed, no dramatic rise, just consistency restored behind tired eyes. Now when pressure increases and the system is tested again, I don't fear collapse, I recognize when to reduce, stabilize, and continue without drama or sound. Because discipline didn't save me, it rebuilt me. After the breakdown, carry marks that don't announce themselves. They don't ask for attention or sympathy. They live beneath the surface, quiet evidence of what survived in me. Not every wound was visible, not every loss was loud. Some battles happen internally with no one else around. There were moments that cut deep, moments that stay longer than they should. Times when forward felt uncertain and standing still misunderstood. But damage didn't define me. It clarified the line between what bends under pressure and what holds its spine. Scarred, not broken, marked, not undone. Every line tells a story of staying when others run. I don't hide what shaped me, I don't polish the past. I learned how to carry weight and let the weak parts pass. Scars don't mean failure, they mean the system adapted. They show where force was applied and where structure reacted. Broken things collapse, scars reorganize. They tighten what remains and sharpen the design. I didn't come out untouched, that was never the goal. I came out functional, with control. Pain didn't erase direction, it filtered what stayed. It taught me where reinforcement was needed and where strength was delayed. I stopped asking to be restored to something I used to be. Growth doesn't reverse damage, it builds integrity. What cracked was reinforced, what failed was reviewed. What couldn't survive the pressure was quietly removed. Scarred, not broken, means I don't romanticize pain. I don't chase suffering, I don't complain. I document, adjust, and move forward with refined intent. Because endurance isn't stubbornness, it's intelligent. The scars remind me of thresholds I didn't think I could cross. They prove recovery isn't softness and strength isn't lost. I don't flinch when tension returns, I've already been there. I know what holds under strain and what needs repair. When others see imperfection, they assume something failed. They don't see the recalibration that detail revealed. I don't need to explain resilience or justify my state. I'm standing functional and focused. Scarred, not broken, still exact. Pressure didn't ask permission, it arrived and stayed. It stripped the margins from my life and narrowed what I made. Every movement felt exposed, oh, every weakness clear. No space left for disorder, no room left for fear. At first pressure felt like weight, like something something meant to bend, but resistance taught me quickly it was here to sharpen, not to end. Under constant demand and excess fell away. Only what was necessary chose to stay. Pressure builds precision. It removes what doesn't align. It turns scattered effort into deliberate design. When comfort disappears and chaos loses control, attention tightens naturally and focus takes its role. I learned accuracy through strain, through moments that allowed no error. When speed punished impulse and hesitation fed the terror, I slowed everything internally while the outside closed in, and found that clarity survives when discipline begins. Pressure doesn't tolerate excuses, it exposes every flaw. It demands clean execution and respect for every law. You can't rush under pressure, you can't fake control. Every action must be intentional, every motion whole. My thoughts became economical, my movements trimmed it clean. I stopped wasting energy on what didn't serve the scheme. What once felt restrictive became reliable and exact, because pressure doesn't limit, it corrects the track. Pressure builds precision through repetition and time. It teaches the body to respond before the mind can whine. It trains awareness to stay sharp even when fatigue appears, and replaces panic with procedure when tension is. I no longer fear intensity, I understand its use. It highlights what's essential and forces me to choose. Not everything survives pressure, only what is true, only what's built correctly and executed through. Now when the weight returns again, as it always will, I don't search for relief, I settle and get still, because precision lives where pressure stays, not where comfort hides. And everything I execute cleanly was refined under fire. Pressure didn't break me, it gave my effort shape. It taught me how to move exact without needing escape. What others call unbearable, I call alignment and control, because pressure built the precision that now carries me home.